Now, if you haven't watched my previous training video on the lookup functions, you want to watch it because I give you the basics, also the differences between the horizontal and the vertical lookup. But as a quick review, when it comes to looking up, in this case, a part number within my database to get the cross-reference, when it comes to looking up, the horizontal lookup function looks in the topmost row and the vertical lookup in the leftmost column. So what is it that you want to look up? If I'm going to go ahead and look up by year, that's not in the leftmost column, that's in the topmost row. So let me go ahead and insert the horizontal lookup function by hitting equals on the keyboard, typing in the first couple letters, HL, and there it is. Looks for a value in the topmost row of the table and returns the value in the same column from a row you specify. So let me go ahead and hit the Tab key to pop open the function and answer the first three questions here. First of all, what do you want to look up? Well, I can go ahead and type in 2008 or select the cell that contains that number, comma. What table do you want to look this value up in? Well, it's going to be this table, so I'm going to go ahead, click and drag to select it. Make sure that you select both the column and the row labels, not just the data, but the labels as well. Then comma, and then the next argument that's in bold, and it's got to be the row index number, not the number that you see over here that I assigned it. For example, I've got the column that I'm looking up 2008, and the row, let's say the model that I want to cross-reference it with, is 200. So counting down from the top row, 1, 2, 3, 4, the actual row index number is 4. So let me go ahead and type in 4, and then hit enter, and there we go. So the fourth row down, 2008, we got our cross-reference. Two additional things you need to know is that the horizontal lookup does a greater than or equal to lookup. So when it's looking in the topmost row, for example, it's looking up 2008, is it equal or greater than what I'm looking up? Well, it's equal to, so it looks in that column. Well, if you look over here, you'll notice that I go from 2002, skip 2003, and go to 2004. So what would happen if I type in 2003? What number is it going to pull from which column? Because 2003 isn't there. Remember, horizontal lookup is doing a greater than or equal to. Is it greater than this column, or the label there, 2002? Yes. Is it greater than 2004? No. So it's going to stay in this column, and there it is. Well, that can create some headaches because I can tell the customer that, yeah, we do have a part number, when actually we don't have the 2003 year here. So what I can do is I can request that this vertical lookup function do an exact match. If we don't have it, then give me NA for not applicable. So let me go ahead and double click back in that cell to edit the function. Come over here after the third argument, hit the comma on the keyboard to the fourth argument, and the fourth argument says, look, do you need an approximate match greater than or equal to or exact? Let me hit the down arrow key, go ahead and hit Tab, hit enter, and because it's not an exact match, it's not applicable. So if I type in an exact match, 2002, because I know I have that, it finds it right there. Second thing is that horizontal lookup can also look up by text. And what I mean by that is that if I come up here and I've got some text like, let's say, red, come down here, type in red, and it'll look it up in that column there. There it is. Now, it doesn't have to be an exact match, so if I double click in here and I delete false, it does an approximate match. It's still going to be an exact match lookup when it comes to text. It only comes to numbers that it does a greater than or equal to unless you specifically set that fourth argument to false. So you can get an exact match and not get some erroneous results here, something that you don't have in your database. Let me go ahead and hit undo a couple of times to get rid of that text. And then of course I was looking up the model number, which was 200. Then if I want to continue down to 250, 300, just like I did in the previous training video, be sure that when you copy and paste your function down, that you make sure that what you're referencing doesn't shift down as well. Because if I go ahead and click and drag that down, it's not going to work, because when I double click you can see that the table is shifted down 2 rows because I copied the function down 2 rows. In any case, hit the escape key, double click here. Be sure that you place absolute values in front of your cells or tables that you don't want to be copied or shifting down, but to stay constant. Hit the F4 key on the keyboard to add $signs in front of the cell that you're referencing, and then in front of the table, both A4, which is the start of the table here, and then J15, F4. Those are constants. Hit enter, and then go ahead and hover over the lower right hand corner, click and drag down to copy that into those two cells. We're halfway there. The only other thing we have to do is double click for 250. That's going to be row 5, hit enter, and then go ahead and double click. This is going to be for row 6, hit enter. 250 for 2002, and then 300, row 6, 2002, they match. So that way if I go ahead and type in a year, I get the part numbers right there, and I don't have to go back in and double click and make the change, but I can quickly give the customer what they want, the part number here. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel, get notified of the latest videos, and for only $2 a month, you can have access to all my Microsoft Office training videos.